Good morning, all. I am so proud of Joe Biden, our president in the U.S. And living up in Canada hasn't changed that. First thing I wanted to do was scream to everybody, let's build a wall, when Trump was in. I remember when it was announced that Donald Trump had won 2016. And the immigration site up here in Canada broke. It broke with so many that wanted to move up here. The bad part of it is a lot of the Trumpism has moved up here as well. And that's frightening. It's frightening when people believe that trickle-down economics works. Trickle-down economics has proven to not work. Our prices keep going up. And the portions that we're buying are getting smaller. And yet these companies who are saying, oh, it's an inflation. I mean, costs have gone up for us. But they're still boasting record product. I'm sorry. I do mess up my words. They boast record profits. I haven't had coffee this morning either. Record profits are above what they predict. So you'd think that the cost would start coming down. Well, in the U.S., the costs of their products have come down because of President Joe Biden. But we've got people like, in Ontario, we have Ford. Ford, who idolizes Trump. Okay? He cut a lot of things that has raised costs for rent, housing. Corporations are free to go around and buy up all the houses, and nobody's stopping them. People should be buying houses, not corporations. And yes, I do have problems with those of my neighbors who are out for a quick buck and sell their houses to these corporations. I have a huge problem with it. We had a neighbor who bought a house and it stood empty all through COVID until the law changed, where now people aren't allowed to have empty property. My roommate and I and a few of our friends, we go on these little excursions and we investigate abandoned properties. Yeah, for fun, we try doing paranormal because we want to see, we want to understand, but that besides the point. These properties are beautiful and they're being left to rot. Absolutely rot. We fell in love with this farmhouse that we went to. And we thought, oh my God, we could put a family in the basement. We could put my son or my roommate's son, who is probably the one that needs it mostly, into another house that was attached. A little, it was a workshop or something, but there's electricity going to it. So he could have that safety net to fall if he screwed up on his bills. We have a lot of friends who are in need. And I want to help them all. My Salima, my Tanya, my children. And we can't because a corporation bought that house and the whole farm, and they're going to build yet another bunch of houses that nobody can afford. I'm 59 years old, guys, 59. I had 2 very wrong marriages. Marriages I knew I probably shouldn't have done, but I didn't listen to that little gut instinct of my belly, so. Joe Biden, you guys are lucky to have him. He's what, 3 years older than the guy who puts on makeup and a girdle? If you saw him on his golf course, you wouldn't recognize him. He doesn't wear all the makeup when cameras aren't around and all of that. You'd pass right by him on the street. He's a fat, dumpy old man who's a pervert. Let's face facts, guys. The Epstein evidence does not lie. You were all waiting for it. You MAGA were waiting for it to see all the Democrats on it. We knew Bill Clinton was on it. And any Democrat that's on it, I want nothing to do with. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a Democrat that would back a pedophile. But there's Donald all over it. All over it, and mainstream media is not talking about it. Project 2025. 900 pages of a manifesto of how to take over the United States and to rule the people with an iron fist. And Donald Trump has already spoken about much of it. And yet he claims he doesn't know anything about it. Isn't that odd? His name appears in it at least 312 times, I'm told. Guys, read Project 2025 and then vote. If that's really what you want for your country, realize that Donald Trump was correct when he said, I don't care about you, just your vote. Because once he gets back in, he's not coming out again. He's going to take it over. And he's going to treat you the same as he's treating the rest of us. He doesn't give a shit about you. My puppy acting up. She likes birds. But in all serious, guys, President Joseph R. Biden, I'm sticking with you. You've proven you can get the job done. You had one bad night. I can't tell you how many bad days and bad nights I have, and I still am relevant. So is everybody on this earth. As many times as I've seen Donald Trump screw up names, idolize fictional characters, telling people to punch this one in the face and I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. That's not what I want in a president. Somebody who goes around grabbing women, thinking it's his God-given right. I've even had some MAGA who said, I would sacrifice even my daughter if you wanted to defile her. I mean, come on. This is what the world is going to? And you think Democrats sit back and won't do anything about it, and that we don't believe in owning guns? We believe we own guns. Democrats own guns. We just believe in getting them the legal way, and that abusers and child killers and mentally ill people who might off themselves or off somebody else and criminals should not have them. So why does Donald Trump have them? Drug addicts? You want to say about Hunter? Has anybody piss, hair, or blood tested Donald Trump or his other son, Don Jr., who 90% of the time is really up there high as a kite on coke? Come on, people. I don't like everything that Joe Biden has done. I have never liked anything any president that I voted for has done. I don't like everything. But I'm not a whiny little snowflake baby about it, and I don't go around threatening to kill people in a civil war because they voted for the other guy. I mean, come on. Wake up. Grow up. And Donnie boy, we learned about NATO in school. And I was a crappy student when it came to history and everything else. And I knew about NATO. Release all your grades, Donald. Release your grades.